Can you all stand up? Everybody up? A wee shake. It's 3:45 somewhere in the world. We shake off and a wee sit down again. That's good. I can feel you now. I've also worked out that when I was sitting here earlier on, that people need a pee. So what I'm going to do is, so I've worked out a strategy for stopping people peeing in Glasgow at TEDx. As soon as someone gets up to pee and I see them, I'm going to grab them here and they've got to do a 1-minute pitch. I got your attention now. Why do so many kids at school not make forward progress? Kids at primary school, they're conditioned to be pilots and doctors and lawyers and not think about owning shops or starting businesses. Why do people leaving university, graduates, why are there not more of them thinking about taking up entrepreneuring as a career option and not just getting into jobs? Why do we have so many startups in the UK who are not making forward progress, who are not becoming investable, who are not getting things over the line? Our startup failure rate is enormous. Why do we have so many people in corporate land? Anyone from corporate land in here? We've got Phil from Cisco. Corporate land, they're frustrated, unhappy, dissatisfied, not fitting in with the culture. How many people, anyone here from the public service, public sector? How many people in the public sector just live for a pension? I used to be a police officer. I had 11 years. And what the discussion would be is, how long you got to go, mate? I've got nine in, rock on, nearly there. It's a prison sentence. But that's the way they're living their lives. They're actually missing the living their lives bit. And how many people come to TEDx talks, take lots of notes on a Friday, and then do fuck all on the Monday? I'm not here to entertain you. Everything's in a mindset. Everything is all in your mindset, and that's what we're going to talk about today. But first, I brought a very special guest with me. She goes everywhere with me. I love her dearly. I brought her to TEDx today. She's been to California with me. She's been to Massachusetts. Last week, I took her to India. I flew her business class. She owes me big time, but she's here today. Would you like to meet her? Okay. Is she up? That's Ria. That's my friend. Her name is Ria. Say hi to Ria. Hi. Oh, for goodness sake, say hi to Ria. Hi. Ria, say hi. I know what she's going to do next. The next thing she's going to do is she's going to start having a pop at me. But I got her because last week when I did the TED slide deck, I told her I was wearing jeans, and today I put my black gear on. So I get one up in her. Ria and I have put a lot of work into this to try and inspire you. She's a bad girl. But actually, I'm feeling a bit of engagement now, feeling a few people laughing. I can feel the audience. That's good, isn't it, Ria? I don't know if you know recently, but last year I ran the Dublin Marathon, and this year I've started doing weights. So for the last few months I've started to build up my pecs, so I've got a bigger bra, check out my ass, tighten it all up a little bit. Can you feel it? Can you see the muscles? Yeah. That's a good man. She's bad. So do you know what? I'm going to block out all the noise, and I'm going to stop the chatter in my head, and I'm going to get rid of Ria. How many of you have your own personal Ria? How many of you have battled with your own personal Ria? Oh, there's a hand up. That's great. Interaction. My job is done. How many of you have your confidence has taken a real dip because of what Ria says to you? How many of your ego is taking a battering because of what Ria says to you? Her job is to discombobulate you. That's her job. To screw you up whenever she can so that you listen to her and you don't do what you should do. But Ria wasn't always there. Ria is an amalgam of stuff that has happened right the way through your existence. And the first thing in that amalgam is drugs. So, Glasgow TEDx, can you stand up if you haven't taken drugs, haven't smoked a joint in the last 5 years? Just stand up. Get the cameras on this. There's a few people not being truthful here. Grab a seat, folks. It's a different kind of drugs. It's a different kind of drugs. It's called serotonin. It's a cheeky little neurotransmitter that runs through your brain, and it fires at the synapses. Some of us are really lucky, and we've got lots of serotonin. Others aren't so lucky, and it brings you down. But there's ways to overcome that. So you can eat healthy, eat avocados, you can do exercise, but the serotonin you have going through your brain can impact on your Ria. And it's good if you can work out how happy or not you are and do something about that. The second thing is your upbringing, your parents, your nurturing, how they encouraged you, what they did for you. I came from an alcoholic father, 10 years on the booze. Lost his job, then lost the business, then lost the house. So my Ria keeps saying to me, Jim, they're going to take it all away from you. They're going to come and take it all away again. You're going to be homeless. You're going to lose everything. So I overcompensate for my Ria, and I make sure that that is never going to happen to me. The third thing is your education. Your education. Who remembers all the crap teachers that you had in secondary school? You actually do? I bet you though, if I asked you, who remembers the one great teacher who made a mark on you? The one great teacher that you can remember? I can see heads nodding. This is great. One great teacher. Mine was Miss McCourt. She taught French at St. Michael's Academy, Kilwinning. It was a war zone. But she didn't just teach French to a syllabus. She was passionate about us. She cared. I didn't hand in an assignment in time and she gave me 3 of the belt. But I remember how passionate she was about teaching me. And the fourth thing that shapes your Ria is the media. What books do you read? What magazines do you buy? What TV programs do you watch? EastEnders? Who's that guy in EastEnders right now? You know what I mean? He's a geezer. What's his name? Danny Dyer, right? So in my house every night, at 7:30, BBC One, Danny Dyer porn time for the wife. Because that's what she does every night. She tries to tell me she's following the storyline, but it's all about Danny Dyer. Kim Kardashian. Social media. Michelle Mone. Michelle Mone's a well-known Scottish entrepreneur. Recently, Michelle has moved to London, and she's got a nice fancy pad, and she tweets herself with a glass of champagne on her pad, looking over the Tower Bridge. Click. Right? Having a great time. And 47 bald middle-aged guys go, like. I love your life, but mine's shit, Michelle. So, you fail to make progress because of these things. You've heard it all. You've lived with it all. It's in your head. At some point, stopped you making progress. Pretty horrible stuff can go on in people's brains. But I'm going to tell you a way to recombobulate. I'm going to tell you a way that you can actually shut Ria down. Would you like to know how? You have to think and act like an entrepreneur. Not to start a business. You have to think and act like an entrepreneur in everything that you do in life. Entrepreneurs are all about the go-do. Not can-do, not must-do, not to-do. The go-do. 2 verbs. Bang, bang. They're all about outcomes. Engineering stuff to happen. Action. Let me tell you the first thing entrepreneurs do. They have to deal with volatility, uncertainty, chaos, complexity, ambiguity every day of their lives. They don't clock on at 9 o'clock and finish at 5. They are always on. Interesting, no one's gone for a pee yet. But that means that they have to deal with risk. But they are not risk takers. They're cognitively comfortable with the notion of risk, which is a big difference. They build up a tolerance to it. You know, the butterflies in the tummy when you're not comfortable at something. They build up the tolerance to risk. But that moves them outside their comfort zone. We've heard this. They move outside the comfort zone. So when they said to me, Jim, you're going to do a TEDx talk in Glasgow, I said, that's great, but you have to stay in the red dot. So, me being an entrepreneur, I'm going to stay in the red dot, unless you help me otherwise. I need some egging on. Will I do it? Moved outside the comfort zone and God has not struck me down yet. So, can you move outside your comfort zone? If you do that, you might actually find something that you like, or somebody that you like, or some job that you like. And you might do something, you might find something out about yourself if you move outside that comfort zone. How many of you right now are thinking about Monday and what you're going to do to move outside that comfort zone? Second thing, taking action. Taking action is so important. Here's some of the stuff we discuss at Entrepreneurial Spark with wee baby entrepreneurs. We say to them, they'll come into me and they'll show me their laptop. Jim, look at that spreadsheet. It's going to make me $4 million in 3 years. And then I can go and cycle around the world. $4 million, great. How have you tested that? Who have you shown it to? Well, I've spoken to my mum. Who else? My gran. Who else? My best friend. Fantastic. Have you spoken to any customers? No. Why would I do that? Well, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go into Buchanan Street in Glasgow, and I want you to stand there, and I want you to speak to 100 people. And those 100 people, I want you to ask them the question and show them your product. What happens then? The spreadsheet disappears. The 4 million's gone because they've actually found something out. They've found out insight. And that's what an entrepreneur does. They find the value in between the cracks. So I wonder if you moved outside your comfort zone, what things you would discover. Self-checking. Entrepreneurs self-check. Temperature check. When you're sick, what do? You go to the doctor, you get a thermometer, you get your blood pressure taken, and you try to bring it back into those parameters. Entrepreneurs have to do the same. Finally, authenticity and communication. If you're not authentic and you don't communicate with authenticity, you'll blow it. We talk about having meaningful conversations. No agenda, no ego, no bullshit. You don't accept elephants in the room. If there's an elephant in the room, it creates mistrust. Entrepreneurs start in the morning and they don't stop, and it's 50% of the day's communication. 50% of the day's communication. So everyone understands the why. Everyone's in the canoe. Do you do that? Do people really know what you're thinking? Or do you just assume it? Think about what the entrepreneur does to take action, move outside their comfort zone. And I'm going to leave you with a quick quote. I'll read it for the cheap seats in the back. The most influential and frequent voice you hear is your inner voice. It can work in your favor or against you, depending on what you listen to and act upon. And act upon. So, you can think and act like an entrepreneur by making simple little adjustments to what is going on in your brain. You can shut down your RIA and you can go do. So I hope today you feel a little bit more recombobulated. Thank you.